Welcome everyone to this Norwegian episode of the Caravan Tour of Terror, a show that finds us touring the globe through the medium of horrific, chilling and disturbing entertainment. The k in horrific always does that. My name's Donald, I'm the driver on this quest. Joining me at my side, as always, with a road atlas on his lap, is my next door neighbour and navigator Ali. Say hello, Ali.
Hello, Donald.
Hello, Ali. What, you didn't even bother looking up?
That's Norwegian for hello.
Hello?
Hello.
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 Hello. I tried looking up hi, and that's hi.
Hi.
So, hi.
Hi. So this week, for a change, I thought, why don't we get more ingratiated in like a natural urban setting? You know what I mean? Get
a natural
urban setting as opposed to an artificial urban setting. Bit more day-to-day life, bit more of a taste of, the urban life of where we're going. So I've booked us an Airbnb in Oslo. I'll take you up to the flat just now. The neighbours are very friendly. Couple of girls,
lovely.
Bit odd, but for the most part, they were saying stuff, didn't really make any sense to me, but I'm sure it's fine. And they want us to pop over in a bit for a cup of tea.
That sounds. Yeah. I mean, it's lovely that you've brought us to this, lovely Airbnb. But I don't understand why there's a cupboard in front of the door.
Oh, that was already there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, previous tenant, I guess. I'm not sure. There's a lot of stainage as well in the bedroom. What the hell are we talking about, Ali?
Well, while we're here in this room, will we talk about Naboer?
Fine. Yes.
Naboer, which you would think stands for neighbour in Norwegian, but it
this
doesn't. It stands for next door.
I said this last episode.
I know.
We can't. Maybe they thought that us Brits, neighbours the movie, brilliant.
Yeah, neighbours. Yeah.
Where's Toadfish? That's
Toadfish
a deep
and,
cut neighbours.
that guy from Billy Kennedy.
Billy
Kennedy. Guy from House.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I ever remember him in Neighbour. Holly Valance.
He was Toadfish's best friend.
Don't remember him. I just remember Toady.
Well, we're not here to talk about the Australian daily soap opera Neighbours. We're here to talk about Naboer, which is a 2005 Norwegian film that was directed by...
I actually don't have it in front of me.
You suck.
Pål
Sletaune.
I was close with Pat. I knew it was...
Pål. I don't know how to do the O above the A in Norwegian. Pål.
Yes.
Pål Sletaune. So yeah, Naboer tells the story of Jon, who is
John.
Just after... He is never called John.
John.
John has just broken up with his girlfriend, and it opens with his girlfriend picking up some stuff from the apartment they used to live in.
It's that moment.
It's that moment, yeah. It's the... and he clearly
trade.
isn't handling it well. He's kind of like a wee bit twitchy, a wee bit like...
She's leaving him.
Yeah. So he's understandably upset. Her new boyfriend is waiting outside while she picks stuff up. Ake. And, she seems particularly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But she gathers her stuff and leaves. Later on, there's a knock on the door by one of his Naboers. What?
Oh God. Yeah, saying what?
So, yeah.
She says, I'll pop
one of his
it out for a bit or something, or come over and help me move this shit.
Yes.
Yeah,
Can you come over to... His next door neighbour, Anne, who he's never met, comes over and knocks on the door and says, hey, could you come help me move some stuff?
He's a big, strong man. He's not.
And he's like... No, and she's like, come on anyway. Like, she seems really upfront and rude. And he seems very, pliable and weak-willed.
Yeah.
So, he goes into their apartment, and it's kind of like... It's
all very weird.
Yeah, it's all very weird in the sense that it looks kind of, not dilapidated, but, super messy.
Yeah.
Plus, the two girls that live there, Anne and Kim, seem a bit off.
Yeah, the sisters.
So, yeah, once he's had the first awkward encounter,
It's all
He
awkward.
leaves. It's all awkward. It's the entire movie. Anne comes over and is like, "Hey, can you just be there with my sister? She was attacked, and she's feeling kind of horrible, and she wants could you go and just stay in the flat while I'm out for about 10 minutes?" So he goes over, and I mean, the first thing I noticed is that he walks in and does not announce himself, which is not what I would do.
Well, he maybe assumed the sister had said, "I'm going to go get that weird little guy."
I don't give a fuck. If a woman came to my door and said, "Hey, my sister's been attacked by a man, could you go and check on her?" The first thing I would do walking into her flat would be, "I am a man walking into your flat. Are you okay with this?" But he doesn't. He just kind of wanders about and finds her doing, her weird shit. She seems, Kim's definitely seems the more off one.
Yeah.
Whereas Anne seems like more manipulative, more like strong-willed, more kind of clued into what's going on. And as these first meetings happen, they suggest that they know quite a bit about him because they're next door neighbours, and they're like, "Well, you and your girlfriend broke up. We heard a lot of arguing through the wall. The walls are thin." So you can see that John's like uncomfortable with a lot of these.
John's uncomfortable for about 99% of the movie.
That's very true. Like, he goes into their flat to look after her, and she kind of disappears down a corridor.
Yeah.
And he follows her, and this flat is like
a maze.
It's labyrinthine. Yeah, I've literally wrote labyrinthine because it is. It's it's twists.
I said
and
the
turns
flat's
and
like
all
a
these
maze because I'm a bit more down to earth than a bit more man of the people.
Is that what we call it? They arrive in this kind of like 70s room, and she starts talking to him about like really weird stuff and making him incredibly uncomfortable.
Or horny.
Or horny. Or both.
She starts relaying a sexual encounter.
Yeah. Yes. She's relaying this sexual encounter while kind of coming on to him while also antagonizing him at the same time.
Yeah.
And he is just like, he's like, "This is ridiculous, I'm leaving," sits down.
Yeah.
Like, he has no will of his own. He is just the most pliable man I've ever seen in my life. But as she's telling this story, they start sitting next to each other, and then she hits him, and then he like holds her hands, and then she hits him again, and then he punches her, then she punches him, then basically the two knock fuck out each other while having sex.
Yeah, it's pretty rough to watch.
I know that this sounds like I'm going through like the plot at a rapid pace. This is the setup.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So yeah, it becomes this like really weird, like really uncomfortable, like violent sex scene.
Oh, they're covered in blood.
And the whole while he's been trying to she's locked him in the house. She, locked the door and ran away with the key, and I'm playing childish games with him to then punch him and have sex with him.
Ugh.
And yeah, so it just cuts to him back in his flat, kind of like, what have I just done? What have I...
Yeah.
From here, things start to take a wee bit of a turn. And I don't know if this is where you want to pop
Probably,
in your spoiler warnings.
I think so, because I mean, it's quite rapid, but...
It is, but there's a lot that, like...
Yeah.
It gets into it, and then it unravels, basically. Spoiler
warning!
So from that point, he is kind of just... He feels like he's losing himself. He's starting to recall memories that like fill in blanks between the points that happened with not only these girls, but with himself and his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, you see the breakup scene a few times, but with more context added and stuff like that, or context around the relationship in general. Because at the start you only see the breakup, and you don't know anything. Yeah, and it's just fairly standard. This is a crap relationship. You're a crap kind of guy, kind of stuff. It's not like And then it slowly unravels. You see that maybe with an extra little minute added in here or there, and the beginning or the end, kind of for more context.
He then eventually makes his way back over to the neighbour's house.
Naboers.
Naboers.
Naboers. I don't know any of the lyrics to that
Everybody
fucking
needs
song.
good Naboers.
Everybody needs good Naboers. I don't know the tune either.
With a little understanding. Yeah, you're terrible at this. Try home. Stick with Home and Away.
Home and Away. I only know the last bit, and I don't remember the lead-in, so it's like, I don't know, nothing to say, home and away. I don't know any of the lyrics to that either.
Jesus. So he finds himself once again lost and trapped in this flat.
Oh yeah, he gets locked in. In the labyrinth.
And he's trying to a mixture between find his way out and follow who he thinks is Kim through these corridors into these rooms, finding himself like tons of locked doors. And then he bumps himself into Michael Nyqvist. I was like, fucking hell, hey Michael Nyqvist, I didn't expect you to show up.
For context, he is the guy from the Dragon Tattoo trilogy, for me mainly, but also he's the bad guy in John Wick 1. And also he's in a Mission Impossible movie, or 2, maybe just 1, I can't remember.
He's Michael Nyqvist.
Yes.
Yeah, he's Alfie Allen's dad.
Who?
Alfie Allen and John Wick.
Oh, right, yeah. I'm sure you said Arlen, and I was like, wait, who is that?
Which I found quite weird because I felt that Jon looks quite a lot like Alfie Allen.
He does a bit, yeah. I've never thought about that, but yeah, he does.
So it was a wee bit weird to be like, oh.
Yeah, I did a note at that bit being, it's Ake? What? When he bumps into Ake. He actually doesn't bump into Ake. He sees Anna tell the same very rude story, but to Ake this time, but you don't know it's Ake at the time. So it's different. It's the sister inverted. What's the truth? Saying the same story in kind of more of a, I don't know, brothely kind of manner. It always takes on that kind of tone. But yeah, it turns out that it's Ake. Sorry, it's Ake who is his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because that might be, you might be sitting there going, who the fuck's Ake again? Yeah.
Yeah, Ake is Ingrid?
Yeah.
Ingrid's new boyfriend, and he kind of he comes across very
like Satan,
aggressive. Yeah, a little bit.
Like besuited Satan, that kind of vibe.
And he's very, he's very taunting about the relationship between Jon and Ingrid, as well as what Jon thinks he remembers about it.
Yeah.
And continually pushes and gets more aggressive, both physically and sexually.
Yeah.
And a really, really, personally, my favorite scene of the whole movie, because, the performance he puts in just this one scene.
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
Is very, very, startling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's taken in by this Ake and horrified, and his memories start coming back. And what his memories start to reveal is that what his version of his relationship with Ingrid is not the same as the true version of the relationship with Ingrid. And you see that that same first scene where she's taking stuff. And in the very start, it's she talks about she says, "Oh, he's there just in case," and he's like, "What? Did you tell him I hurt you?"
Yeah.
And then you find out that she's got a big burn up her arm, and then he's like, "No, that was an accident," and she's like, "Do you remember what we did afterwards?" And he's like, "I took you to the hospital," and she's like, "No, we had sex." So you learn that he's not as
he's an unreliable narrator, and also a bit of a bastard.
And as he chases after her, she starts to taunt him about
oh god, yeah.
So he goes back to. Sorry, on you go.
I was just gonna finish the thought. The cuckold fantasies that he enjoyed with her, or maybe they really happened, that was the same story that Anna and what's her face.
Yes.
What's her face?
Kim.
Thank you. Both said in the little room.
Yeah. And then he goes back to Anne and Kim's flat, and Kim's personality is startlingly different. She is scared, hurt. Like, she's like, why did you do that to me? Like, why did you attack me like that? You could have, like, I know I hit you, but you could have stopped me. You're definitely stronger than me. And he's like, fuck, I could have. Like, why did I do that? And he starts, like, really delving in and just kind of losing himself. And it unravels to the point where you learn that he is not the nicest man in the world. He abused his girlfriend. But what the turn finally takes is that he attacked his girlfriend when she went to leave after she taunted him about his cuckold fantasies, about his violent fantasies. She goes to leave. He grabs her. She screams, and he murders her, chokes her to death. At which point, when he's dragging her back, when he's reliving this, he sees the corridor to to the neighbour's flat is just a wall. And this is where it all comes together, that it's just been a fantasy he's been living out in his head to try and deal with the fact that he has murdered Ingrid, and as it turns out, he has also murdered Aka, who came up to check on her. And he completely loses the plot. One of his friends or a work colleague comes to see him at the door and just say, like, is everything okay? And all the things that had been happening in the sister's apartment are happening in his. Like, he has the thing in front of the door. The cupboard in front of the door. He's like, there's a smell in the house. He's like gone and not making a lot of sense. And it shows him like smashing his way through the wall.
Into nothing. There's nothing back. There's
into nothing.
Nothing behind it. It's just an exterior wall, which the guy, his friend, is like, yeah, it's a wall. What?
You're definitely He's like, you're definitely here. Can you see what's out there? And he's like, it's just the street.
Yeah.
And it all closes with him going to bed, talking to Ingrid like she's alive, with getting responses, and then gets into bed with her corpse.
Yeah.
And that is Naboer, but my God, is it a trip?
Yeah. That was Naboer. I mean, there's it's hard to do it justice just by
it's a
talking
very
about the plot, 'cause it's very visual.
That's probably one of the
very
hardest,
moody. Yeah.
And again, as we say, unreliable narrators. So it is definitely, I feel, one of the hardest I've had in describing the plot, because the plot is a guy meets two weird neighbours and starts going mental.
The plot is a guy hallucinates.
That's the plot. So it's very hard to... A guy hallucinates and then realises he's a murderer in the end. Like, it's very hard to put that across as a brief but descriptive summary.
Oh, no, you did fine. Yeah, aye. But it's just something to think about, is that if for some fucking reason, right, you decided to listen to the spoilers but you've not seen this film, completely ruining it for yourself, by the way, then you don't get the effect of it as much. Because I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. There you go. Done.
Sorry.
Next week.
So yeah, there's a lot of really nice touches I like about this movie, and most of them are really subtle.
Yeah.
And it's all the little things that start creeping through that give suggestion that that there is no other flat. And one of my favorite ones is he has dinner at his own flat, and then he goes round to Anne and Kim's, and when he gets in there, one of them, and it's not like really pronounced, but one of them walks over to a table while they're all chatting and picks up his plate from the table and takes it out to the kitchen. The same thing he was eating, even though you see him go into... Nice. And I was like, it's the little touches like that that really shine through in this.
Yeah.
Because, to be honest, it's not that...
Stop creaking that fucking chair. My God, I apologise for those
it.
noises. I'm not editing shit out of this one.
I need to oil this chair. So, yeah, there's this, like... I lost my train of thought.
I'm son of the fucking chair, man. The chair. I really like the flat. It's cool. Dimensions are impossible in a cool way. You don't have a clue where anything is. And the more... I called it a good old descent into hell flick before I actually knew exactly what the story was, because that is the kind of mood you get. As soon as he goes into that flat, it seems like it's like another dimension. It doesn't conform.
There's like Hellraiser vibes, like genuine, like that kind of, not obviously the chains and horror, but like that kind of like really saturated color and nothing kind of seeming where it's going to be. And,
and even the dialogue's all fucking all over the place, and they know stuff about him, but then eventually, like, you see, I mean, obviously you see Aki in there, which seems weird, and then some of his and hers possessions end up in that flat. Just weird things keep happening and descending, because it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder. Which I enjoy those kind of films anyway. So I thought that was my favorite thing about it for me. The thing I didn't like was the blood-soaked sex scene. Oh my God.
Not as a guy who is not great with bleeding. I imagine that was not a fun.
As soon as he touched her, I was like, no, stop it. And then it all went horrible.
The flat's a really good one, because at the start of the movie, it is weird and maze-like, but plausible.
Yeah.
It's not like at the start. It's not this like you're not immediately like, where the fuck are they?
Yeah.
It's this like, oh, so they've like, it's an old, because you don't get a good sense of the building. You see his flat and you see her flat, and that's it.
Yeah.
But their flat doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
So you've got this like, oh, it could conceivably be this old flat,
but it just seems like there's corridor after corridor and locked door after locked door, and yeah. So that, I mean, we're kind of half reviewing it already. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a horror movie at first, and it's really the flat that tipped it, I think, even so much as it's still psychological horror, but and I don't want to get too bogged down in what is and isn't horror, because we keep thinking about that all the time when we watch these kind of films, because a lot of them are like different shades of the same grey, but it was pretty. It passed the I wouldn't watch this with my mum test with flying colours very early on.
Imagine it did. It's definitely like, I mean, you could call it a psychological thriller, but I definitely feel it's got enough horror in there. Like that's like actually one of the more like definitive ones that we've had.
Just on the, it didn't seem like it would be on the face of it, because it just seemed like. Have you seen the Keanu Reeves flick?
Is that no? I know what one you're talking
with
about.
Ana de Armas and Thingme's wife. Oh, name that hack horror director. Eli Roth's wife. Is it Eli Roth's wife? Yeah, I'm sure. Knock Knock. Yeah. Which is two girls coming to visit Keanu, and it's a psychological. Whoa, sorry. And it's a psychological sexual thriller. I thought this was going to be like that, and no fucking way, it's nothing like that at all. That film is a good laugh, but we will not be covering it.
No, I should watch it at some point.
If you've seen the memed image of Keanu buried up to his neck with the gag in his mouth going, bah! That's all you need. Have you not seen that?
I don't think I've seen that.
God, it's hilarious. Anyway, there's also the unreliable narrator stuff is good in this, because there's like we didn't talk a lot about him, but like his friend, well, we did at the end, but his friend, like, he goes to work and he's been beat up and stuff, and his friend sees that, is like, are you all right, man? And then like his friend comes back later with the whole, are you coming to work? And then like John like reaches out and touches him, and he's like, can you just tell? I can't remember what he says, but it's like, can you just tell me?
He's like, you're really there, aren't you?
Yeah. Stuff like that, I did enjoy as well.
Yeah, definitely moments where you would be like, I don't think my friend's doing very well.
Well, he did the right thing. He called the cops.
Yes.
And they're going to burst in and see the...
Did it? Because there seemed to be 5 people there, 4 of which appeared to be the superintendent for the
Well,
building.
Yeah, well.
None of them appeared to be in police uniforms. They all appeared to just have keys. No, it is a real train ride.
And it's only 70 minutes and it's on Netflix. My God. Love it.
I know, that's your bread and butter right
My
there.
bread and butter. What can films be? Shorter, always.
To be fair, like we've definitely hit this, and I know this is kind of going off on a wee bit of a tangent, but we've definitely hit a period in cinema where like movies are too long.
Yeah.
Movies are too many movies are too long.
I don't think any Marvel movie needs to be over 2 hours.
Not anymore.
But they all are.
Yeah, there was a there's a reason Endgame was, but apart from that, but yeah, there's like your Saving Private Ryan's used to be your exceptions that were telling this grand story.
Yeah.
Like this is a movie
Even that could have lost 20 minutes of Matt Damon telling that story. So,
so if you add another like 20 minutes onto this movie, it doesn't make it better. It makes it longer.
Yeah.
And probably worse.
Yeah. The only movie I'll say it gets away with it is Shawshank Redemption because the length of it is part of the point of it. That is it. Everything else, I bet you could definitely lose at least 5 minutes, right? Of everything. I'm never going to read those words. What's my favorite movie out of The Thing? Oh no, that's quite taut though. There's a lot of careful character observation and all that.
There is, yeah. There's a lot of. It's a very well crafted.
I could
movie,
lose
some might say.
30 seconds of the helicopter ride. You see it over and over again. Right at the start, you see that helicopter flying, shoot at the dog. You get the picture. You don't need. You can definitely lose 30 seconds of it.
Nah, it's all. What you talking? You drop that movie to 108.30?
Yeah,
Never.
I think so. Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. Listen, okay, I'll refine my rule. If a movie's over 2 hours, it can lose 20 minutes. Apart from Shawshank Redemption.
Apart from Shawshank Redemption. Fucking hell.
Anyway, yeah. So
what did you think of it?
Good.
Have you reviewed it on IMDb?
No,
yet?
I've not. I'll do it right now. Ooh, it's a hard one though. It's a hard one. It's probably not an 8. It's probably better than a 7. It's probably not an 8.
Can I give you? I'm gonna actually break my own rule, and I'm gonna tell you what Thal thought of this. Only one part of it.
Okay.
Thal called this "Freud Still Lives in Cinema." Yeah. He gave it a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
But within his review, he says the first hour is 4 stars out of 4. But then the director stops trusting his audience and starts to explain too much. Therefore, I cannot give this minor masterpiece more than a 3.5 out of 4. And I'm like, what? This is your own weird scale. Why are you doing this? It has a scale built in.
Wait, 9 out of 10, but it's actually
3.5 out of 4.
Right,
which
great.
is not
Deary me.
Yeah.
I went for 7.
My only
7.
My only other one is 1 out of 10 by Evans J34. Another crap film from Netflix. This film did nothing for me. Borefest, pointless avoid.
Did you say Gorefest?
Borefest.
Okay.
And I was like,
Can you
this isn't a Netflix movie.
No, it's on Netflix though. It's on Netflix.
I know, but I was like,
yeah, they didn't just make it.
Yeah.
Could you really watch that sex scene and be bored? I mean, disturbed.
Yeah, if this movie is anything, it's not boring. It can be confusing, violent. I looked this movie up on Amazon.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist on Amazon, which I was very surprised about. Because usually they'll have, even if it is not available in any format on Amazon, they will usually have it.
Yeah, an out of print
I'd just say
DVD or
not.
something. Or
Aye, yeah, exactly. But nothing, absolutely nothing.
I guess physically it's hard to find then. Well, we're probably quite lucky it's on Netflix. And people should go out and watch it.
People should go out and watch it.
This was one of the rare Norwegian films to get an 18 rating. They only give out I think it's only like 4 or 5 movies in like 30 years.
I wouldn't say they only give it out. They only give it out once every 10 years.
Yeah, I know.
What?
And I looked up the last one, which was a film called Hotel St. Pauli, 17 years prior to this. And well, from what I can read on Netflix, it's basically pornography, and it's apparently trash. So, I mean, the sex scene of this isn't explicit in and of itself, like sex-wise. It's just disgusting because, well, it's just the violence, like, combining it with the violence, especially intergender violence. Oh my God. It's an unpleasant watch. It's a triggering watch. We should have a trigger warning for that.
Yes, there is definitely. Yeah, there is definitely. It is one of the hard things I find in doing a podcast about horror movies, because 90% of horror movies are gonna have a trigger warning.
I know, but I mean,
I've commented
this is the top
many
what,
times.
0.1%, I'd say.
Yes, this is definitely one of those ones that you might want.
I mean, God.
But
I do not say
I've
that
talked
lightly.
before about
I've watched many a disturbing
hatred
thing.
for
But
sexual assault and
yeah,
the overuse.
yeah.
It can be used as a very powerful motive, like plot
Yeah.
device. But more often than not,
I'm
it's just
a
shoved in
fan
there.
of the rape revenge genre as much as the next guy, but I'd say this film's like pretty rough. Just and it's I think it's how it's depicted so unusually as well. Like you do get your horrible like
you do not expect it.
you get your horrible irreversible style scenes, which is just grueling. But this one's just I don't know, something about it. Anyway, other films to watch. God, are we here already? Fucking hell, we're short. This episode's gonna be as short as this movie is. I would say if you enjoyed the nightmarish surrealness of the labyrinthine flat like I did, then you should probably watch some David Lynch movies. Probably Mulholland Drive more so than Blue Velvet, although they're both great movies. But
Not Eraserhead?
no, because Eraser.
Why?
I'll tell you why.
Fair.
Because Eraserhead
But
starts weird and stays weird. Blue Velvet's weird, but Mulholland Drive is a similar kind of descent. It's actually also a twisty mystery story as well, but it's a similar sort of descent into stuff. Just gets weirder and weirder and weirder as it goes on, which is something that I enjoy. So yeah. Ali's Theme Corner.
Ali's Theme Corner. Well, the most obvious one is the. Sorry, do you want the intro first? Welcome to Ali's Theme Corner. So, I think it handles this theme quite well, and it's the theme of how abusers can view their own crimes.
Rationalize them.
Yeah, exactly. Rationalizing, excusing it away. Of this, you see what he sees, and then you see the pieces slowly fill in. I wouldn't say it's a sympathetic view. It's not at all.
Yeah, I think
But
you
there is
lose sympathy. Even as a protagonist, you still. I was like, what a fuck.
Yeah, because he starts as I said, this
Yeah.
kind of weak-willed, like milk toast
Yeah.
guy, and then you find out this horrific shit
Yeah.
about him, and it is that, and that's a really powerful statement on its own, because the whole thing about abuse is not that the person is big and strong, and like he is not an intimidating man at all, and I think it's a very deliberate choice to make him. He looks like Stressed Eric.
I don't know who that is. Who's that again?
You don't know who's Stressed Eric, the cartoon? Google Stressed Eric while I go on this. Yeah, so he's got this real like everyman about him.
Oh yeah, he
but-
does look like Stressed Eric,
But you can't excuse that. That doesn't allow these things to happen. And these excuses that they'll make up in their head, they will do anything to justify or rework the memory. And that's both how they do to themselves and to others.
Yeah.
No, you're not remembering that. No, that's not how it happened. And just as he says,
It was an accident.
No, it was an accident. I took you to hospital afterwards. Well, no, we
That's
fucked.
that's pretty cut and dry. That I wasn't sure if it was going to be more ambiguous of was it an accident? Did you trip or whatever? No, he got so turned, and she even says, "Oh, it was the first time we'd had sex in months." I was like, "Fucking hell, John, Jesus." Anyway, sorry.
So yeah, that's pretty much the biggest.
Yeah,
Of Ali's Theme Corner.
that was
It's Ali's theme
That
corner.
was Ali's theme corner. I wasn't sure if I was cutting you off. If you were just...
No, I was waiting on you.
Where are we next? Next, we're in Sweden. That makes much more sense logically, that rather than going from Denmark to Norway.
Yeah, I'm sure. Is there a bridge between Denmark and Norway?
No. We didn't drive it. Because we've both seen and highly recommended, like the right one in prior episodes. More than one, I'm sure. We're staying away from that. We're going for something a bit different. So, I've got two options. We could even do both. Fucking please no. First of all is Wither from 2012, which is an adaptation of The Evil Dead. And there's been a few of those over the years, including, I'm sure we've watched one that's Asian. And okay, fine, it's one of my favorite horror, well, I'd say franchises, I suppose, more than movie. And there's been a few of those adaptations, my favorite being 1995's The Japanese Evil Dead, which was also more accurately called Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell. But, you know, I'm interested to see how the Swedes tackle it. Alternatively, we could watch 1995's Evil Ed, which has nothing to do with Evil Dead. It's a horror comedy about a film censor that gets plunged into a world of depravity. Now, I watched a short trailer of Evil Ed with no context, just looking at the visuals, and I said, Ali might fucking hate that. So it's up to you.
Oh, I'm so tempted.
Or we could watch them both and have an Evil Ed, Evil Dead remake with her.
We might just have to do
Evil Ed,
that.
Evil Dead.
But regardless, after crossing the bridge that we both knew existed,
yeah, it definitely exists.
The Öresund Bridge, it's 16 kilometers.
Yep.
It's actually between Sweden and Denmark. So what we did was we passed through Sweden to Norway, and we're just heading back.
Well, that's silly.
Into
We could have.
Yeah. So yeah, we will be in Sweden. But yeah, it's been nice to get out of the caravan, to be honest. I've been enjoying stretching my legs.
Plumbed in toilet.
Yeah.
What a luxury.
I mean, we currently have a squad fumigating that van because we haven't been out in 4 months. But as much as I like it, the nice thing is you don't have these noisy neighbours next door having arguments all the time.
Are they having an argument?
Yeah,
I hear a sound of
go out
meat
into the hall
slapping on meat. I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't know. It's kind of that noise, yeah.
Yeah. Squeaky and meat slapping on meat. So we're gonna go before either of us realise that there's only one flat on this floor. And we will see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.